Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Hope you guys had a lovely weekend and a lovely, beautiful Monday. But for me, there's a lot to report on today. Liverpool fans, Liverpool community, there's been a lot reporting in terms of Curtis Jones. This whole rivalry between Jamie Carragher, I think it's a one-sided rivalry, but this whole rivalry between Jamie Carragher and Mohamed Salah is still going on. And potentially the last scouts remaining in our squad could potentially be leaving this summer. But let's get into it. Like I said, coming off the back of the weekend after Mohamed Salah literally dropped a mad statement talking about the style of play and talking about how this whole atmosphere, the chemistry, the tension right now isn't right, and he pointing his finger at one person, and that was Arnold Slot. And again, I've mentioned before, the whole board, FSG, Richard Hughes, Michael Edward, they're all kind of on the same page in terms of keeping Arnold Slot. But potentially that could change. But on the other hand, with Arnold Slot potentially staying, is causing a lot of issue. And that is with one Curtis Jones leaving. And to get into it with Curtis Jones, I think the reason why Curtis Jones is leaving, I think it's just the lack of understanding between the manager and Curtis Jones. But I also do think it as well with the lack of game time, a lack of trust from Arnold Slot towards Curtis Jones. And I'll be honest myself. I think every single game that Curtis Jones has played this season, he has been, bar Szoboszlai, the best midfielder in the squad. I think in terms of ball retention, I think in terms of decision making, driving with the ball, progression, I think Curtis Jones has been one of the standout players in the midfield. But at the end of the day, with the way we've been watching our midfielders, with the way the midfielder performance has been going, it's not that hard. So I would be very upset if Curtis Jones does eventually leave to Inter Milan. I would be very upset because one, that's our last scout still remaining, and two, he came from the academy. He literally came out and he literally admitted how much he would love to stay at Liverpool for the rest of his career. He would love to be captain of Liverpool Football Club. So for him to say that, that means there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Hence why Mohamed Salah made that statement. So me personally, I do hope that in due time, they do make a big decision on Arnold Slot. And I hope Curtis Jones does make a U-turn, because I do think there's a player in there. There's an exceptional player in there. I think he has a lot to offer to our midfield. I think also in right back, he's been brilliant. So I really do hope in terms of him leaving, I do hope he does make a U-turn. I do hope he put the pen on the paper, but that's only if Arnold Slot eventually leaves. But in terms of midfielders, also been reports about Liverpool being very extremely keen on one of the AS Monaco players known as Camara. And I've watched a couple of players on this guy, and he is something that if he came to the squad, he could offer something different. Something that we've been lacking. Something that we've been needing all season, and that is physicality and bravery and ball winning ability. Because in all of our midfielders, in terms of ball winning ability, in terms of physicality, work rate, we have been bullied in every single one of the games we have played since the start of the season. Outran, outplayed, outworked. Even the Aston Villa game 4-2, the amount of time it was just so easy for Morgan Rogers, for Ollie Watkins to just drive through our midfielders. It would literally, for me personally, at this point, it's pretty common. It's not a shock. But for someone like Camara to come into this midfield, he can add that sustainability. He can add that physicality. He's very small, very decent on the ball, technical. I think in order for him to come into that squad, I think easily he starts straight away. But the question is, who does he start over? Because me personally, you got Gravenberg now, who recently signed a contract on 250k a week. So I'm guessing that his contract maybe contain him being a 13th starter. You got McAllister as well. You got Szoboszlai, you got Vert. So who are we sacrificing for him to be able to come in and add what we've been lacking? Who knows? because Szoboszlai this season has been one of our best midfielders, and personally, in my personal opinion, been stepping up. Wirtz, you can't spend that type of money and not start him. He's not a left winger. You got to start him in his position. And you got McAllister as well. McAllister is the one I'm kind of looking at. But as well, McAllister on his day is our best midfielder. But we can't talk about on our day here. It is a good signing. It is a good player to look at, because this is the signing. This is the type of player. This is the type of personnel we have been missing since Fabinho has left. We've been missing the lack of physicality, the lack of ball winning, the lack of aggression from a certain individual in that midfielder. And for us to go for someone like Camara would be such an amazing signing for us to do. So hopefully we can get that over the line, because I do feel like there's a lot to sort out over the summer. A lot to sort out in terms of managerial situation, in terms of the squad building. Even though we did spend 500 million last season, we do need to spend a bit more. I think in terms of midfielders, I think in terms of wingers, I think also in terms of goalkeeper. But we leave that conversation for another day. Talking about wingers right now as well. Like I said earlier in my video, I do not know what Jamie Carragher's problem is. I don't know what his issue is with Mohamed Salah. For someone for 10 years at the club who has day in, day out, night in, night out, every single match he has turned up and he has delivered goals, assists, trophy, performances, anything you can ask from Mohamed Salah. He delivered. But yet, Jamie Carragher has this knack. He has this thing where, like, anything that Salah does, no matter what, he has an issue. Like, I don't get Jamie Carragher's issue. Today, on Monday Night Football, obviously he did say, because Wayne Rooney did come out and say that after Mohamed Salah's statement, Slot should back himself and bench Mohamed Salah. I'm not going to lie to you. For Slot, it's a lose-lose. So either whatever he does, he lost respect regardless. But Jamie Carragher today on Monday Night Football, it's like it gets to a point. It's boring at this point. It's like, what's your problem? What is genuinely your problem? Because it's like every single night when Salah, and again, sorry to actually, this is what I rate about Salah. He allowed himself to sacrifice his image, sacrifice himself. He has nothing to lose. To come out with that statement and be like, look, guys, fans, Liverpool, whatever this is, isn't it. Behind the scenes isn't it. We got to work harder. We got to do better. This football ain't it. And I'm coming out here to tell you guys what it is. And I respect him, because a player of his caliber, a player of his status, I wouldn't even say he sacrificed. He knew he had to be the leader to come out and be like, this is what it is. Because Virgil isn't coming out as the captain. Every single match, every single time Virgil goes, we need to do better, we need to do better. But again, we know that. But what's the actual issue here? But that's what Salah did. Salah came out and explained the issue. It's the style of play. It's the potential players that are not living up to the style of play that allowed us to be feared by other teams. You know? But going back to Jamie Carragher, it's like, what more do you want? You claim you love Liverpool, you claim you respect Liverpool, but yet what Salah is doing right now isn't for him to be selfish. He's literally coming out of the shadow to explain what's going on, but yet you still have an issue. And I don't get the issue at all. I don't get it. And like, you could see the look on his face on Monday Night Football when we pull out a poll of who we are backing, either Slot or Salah. It was such an obvious poll to choose. Salah has shown us week in, week out, year in, year out what he can do. He had pulled us out of the gutter. Slot had came in and dragged us down to the mud. And you really think the poll was gonna be any different? The look on your face says it all. Like, what is actually his issue here? What is his issue? You know? And you say that like Salah didn't even apologize to you. Like, it's like no matter what Salah does here, Jamie Carragher has a problem, and it's crazy. And I say it again, sorry to repeat myself, for someone who deserves more respect than anybody right now in this Liverpool squad after what he did last season, yet you still come out here and say Salah being pathetic, Salah being selfish. He is the lead person right now being selfish, because he could have easily shut his mouth and go by his business, but he didn't. He said this is the issue. You wanted to know the issue. Now we know the issue, but yet you're still backing a manager, you're still backing a person, a man that is dragging it down to the mud, that is actually talked down on multiple players throughout the whole of the season, and you believe that this is the man to take us forward. But yet, when there's someone otherwise coming out and going against it, yet he's the villain, he's the bad guy. I don't know, I don't get it. But at the end of the day, Salah does have a part to play in terms of his declining output this season. His performances hasn't been the best. But can we really say though, after, I don't know, Slot change the tactic maybe? I don't know. There's a lot. But, you know, it's just a mess, man. Guys, I said it before. I said it on my TikTok. I said it before in my videos. This is going to take a lot of time to solve this issue. And it's crazy because Jurgen Klopp went through 10 years of trying to stabilize everything. Just for him to leave in 1 year. We won the Prem, fair enough. But just for it to just go crashing down just like that. And it's crazy. The lack of control from the manager. The lack of, the amount of control by the board. Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards. I'll get to that in my next video. It's crazy. I don't know, like, once we play Brentford on Sunday, if we get Champions League, where do we go from here? Because I'm telling you now, the FSG has a big decision to make. Big decision. Because we can't go into this season, next season, with the same issues. We cannot. There's a big issue to make. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys want more videos like this, if you guys want to be a part of talks like this, there will be much more opportunities if you guys like and subscribe. Not only that as well, but follow my TikTok. I'll be there as well. Be a part of the family, be a part of the community, especially Scouts. Come on, we're family. Let's talk about it. I want to hear you guys' opinion. Anyway, I'll chat to you guys in a bit.